I cannot open up my body to show you that there's no blood in me, because it's all been drained, been sucked up by the fibroids. I was basically white.
Right. Just talking about that now, let's give our people who've never heard about fibroid the condition, and I'll explain in a minute why this video is really important and why you should keep watching. Do you want to explain, or do you want to explain what fibroids are? Because some people might never have actually heard about fibroids.
Fibroids are 99% of the time the non-cancerous growths that grow in women, some women of African and Caribbean origin mostly, but you know, it's also been in recent times we've also seen that Caucasian women also have fibroids, but it's more prevalent in our community. So there are different type of fibroids. Some of them grow within the uterus, outside, you know, the walls, and it's just like lumps of blood, and it grows over time. For some women there are no symptoms. For other women they could grow up to the size of a baby. So it causes a lot of period pains, heavy bleeding, anemia and things like that. So that's like the basic, like the layman definition of what fibroids are. So you can look them up.
It's just knowing the basic things to look out for in case you might have it, because it's really important that if you're having heavy periods, you're struggling, like Hilda has just said, you know, every month, and just being anemic, being weak. Those are all signs, one of the symptoms. So get yourself checked. It's always better to know why you feel that way, and then you can
get your doctor to
do what
you're on the right course of treatment.
Okay, so let's move to what has probably brought you here. I'm sure it's Hilda went through this condition, and I've always been there. I'm a sister, though I'm talking to her like an interviewer on my channel.
You're very good at it, though.
Thank you. It's what I want to really do. I want to interview people like this in the future. You're my first guest.
Thank you. You're welcome. There's always a first.
Yes, you're not a collab, you're a guest.
Okay.
Anyway, so right, let's just try to fast forward. During lockdown, something happened, right? At the start of lockdown. You were okay, but you'd always gone through this. So do you want to tell us what happened and what led to your most recent surgery?
Okay, so during lockdown there was a situation in the family, and I had to go to hospital to support. So during this process I had to do like screening. We went to this hospital, and I was booked so many scans to just make sure that, you know, I was in the right shape and form before I could do whatever I was there to do. So when I went for my I think it was a CT scan that was booked, and the clinician that was doing, the consultant that was doing my scan, he couldn't believe that, you know, I was going to put myself through all that with what was happening in my own body. And after seeing my scans, he took my files to the doctor who was looking after me at the time for them to discuss the result. And the long and short was, they said to me I needed to be seen as soon as possible. It was a matter of urgency. They had to refer me urgently back to my own, and they wrote a 3-page letter detailing everything that they'd seen, and it wasn't really good. And when I was referred back, I was booked an MRI. Unfortunately, during that period it was COVID, right? So it was just like there were delays in the hospital. If it wasn't a matter of, you know, death and life, because the priority at that time was basically COVID patients. So my care was slightly delayed because of getting an MRI date. Because when I did my scan and the doctor went on holiday, I'd been to clinic and I saw one of the, you know, registrars within that clinic, and she interpreted what she could interpret. It wasn't very accurate, but I understood that she was a junior doctor. And she was just covering for my consultant. So when I kept calling to find out when my consultant would come back from holidays. And when she came back, she gave me a call. So she called me, said, Hilda, you need to listen to me. I've looked at your scan and it's not good. My mom was in the living room and I was in the bedroom. I didn't want her to hear. I was hiding information from her. She said, you need to listen to me and you need to take this seriously.
My goodness.
Unfortunately, I cannot do your procedure. I thought it would be something I could do, but this is above me.
My goodness.
That's what she said. She said, this is above my specialty. This is above any training that I've ever done. I have to send you to the right people to look after you. She said, I had 45 fibroids. And I'd never heard anything about that. I was stunned. I was like, what? I just became ice cold, and
I don't even think you can
it was like, so I knew I had fibroids, but I didn't think I would have 45 fibroids. That took me unaware. So I was in such a bad place. And for some reason, right, I'd always known I had fibroids, but I was going on with my life. But when I heard that, it just changed. Things just changed like instantly. It was at that point I knew that I was unwell.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
yes.
It was on that day I knew that I was unwell.
But you know what? This is something that we need to talk about, women. We want to keep being strong for everybody else. We want to make sure that we don't let anybody down. We want to hide things from our parents.
Yeah.
We want to hide things from our siblings. We want to hide things because we believe that we don't have a right to let go and show how we feel or be unwell.
I wasn't really hiding stuff. I'd come to a place in my life where I'd stopped talking about my health to people that I didn't want to bother people, because when you've lived with a condition for such a long time that people don't understand, they have their ideas. People make comments, very disrespectful comments.
Okay.
Because I've been told that I was using my health for attention by very close people. And that's the kind of ignorance that we have to eradicate.
Yes.
Because that's a no-no. If you have nothing good to say about somebody,
Don't
especially when they're unwell, don't say a word. You know, you don't have to see me dead for you to understand that I was unwell.
Yeah.
So I'd come to a place, you know, I'd come to terms with the fact that this is the life I'm living, and I don't have to even, because they're not going to take that pain away from me.
True. It's either they do two things. Either they worry people who love you,
yes,
or they make you feel like you don't have a reason to complain.
Yes.
And either ways, they cannot make you feel better.
Yes. So I'd stop bothering, you know, disclosing how I was feeling and the things that I was going through to so many people. And I would just get on with life. And
but because the thing is, I couldn't believe. I remember when you told me this, and I was just thinking, but you always appear okay. You always appear well. How could you have 45 fibroids? That's what I was saying the day you told me. I couldn't sleep. I'm like, how can you? When I see you sometimes, like when I see your videos, when I see you out, that just tells that there's a difference between reality and what we all see daily. This is a lesson. Because if you see Hilda in all of this agony and all this, I don't know, sad times, Hilda carried on.
But that's the thing, right? I have to carry on, because what else is going to happen to me?
Anyway,
you know, we live in a society where you're all you've got, right?
Yes.
You just have to keep going, because nobody's going to stop because you're unwell.
Yes, life just passes you by.
People carry on with their lives, so you have to just forge through as well. You have to keep going.
I have to just say that Hilda is extremely strong. So if you're feeling unwell, don't use her standards. I'll take you down the rabbit hole.
No, the first thing is, if you are unwell, right, just make sure that you see a doctor.
Yes.
And talk to the people that you trust. You should have your support system.
Yes.
You know, people you can speak to without fear of judgment. You know,
everybody has to have that person.
Yes, people you can be honest with.
Yes.
So don't hold back. You know, you should have your support system. It doesn't matter, even if it's your priest
Yes.
or whoever, your mom,
come to us,
your dad,
come to me,
you know, we'll treat your information with, you know,
utmost privacy
and
love and respect.
You know, so if you're feeling like really low, it doesn't matter if it's fibroid or just whatever condition, you know, there's a lot that people are dealing with, not just fibroid.
Yes.
Make sure, because for your own mental health, you want to make sure that you have somebody that you can just break down on the phone and be raw, be authentic, and tell them how you're feeling.
Correct.
Because
it's very important to have somebody like that in
yes.
your life. I want to just ask Hilda, after let's run up to the expectation of you having to go through surgery for what we thought and assumed was 45 fibroids. It looks like it's the worst. How can you have 45 fibroids? I said, I'll come and start chatting your journey. How you feeling?
Yeah.
Use your phone, do amateur video. She's like, She's like, she do that thing she just done now. Do that again.
Do that. No, because when you're in that situation, right, like, basically you're just existing.
Yes.
Like, you're just in your own space, your own world, and whatever you were saying, I was like, you know.
Yeah, right. That was
whatever.
Yeah, well, and I don't blame her, but I had to be, and I was there to check. But I believed that Hilda had a story to tell. And one that I thought was unique and unheard of at the time, right? And then she said, okay, so I kind of talked her through. I don't think you did any of those videos though. Between me and you, did you do any of those videos that
I did, but you know what?
Because Hilda's tummy looked like she was actually, you know, going to have a baby, and there was nothing in there. I said, Hilda, take some pictures and all that. Anyway, to cut this short without going too much about it, I said, I'll document your journey when you go into surgery in the hospital, and then while you're recovering, I'll try to do something, and we can put it out on my channel. And she has a platform as well. Hilda is a YouTuber.